and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Hey, this is Chris from the Ticket Stub. You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We're so happy to have you, and we're so happy to have our sponsor, Chris Wootton of the Wootton Financial Group. He's been in business over 21 years right here in Conroe, and if you've been in Conroe that long, you're doing something right, because if anybody in Conroe found out you weren't doing anything, everybody in Conroe would know about it, and you'd be kicked out. No, just kidding. He's great. He's a great guy, and he will, if you call her at this number, take it away, Richard. I'm pointing at you. If you call him at this number, what is that number?
I love it. 936-449-5952, WoottonFinancial.com.
5952. Okay. I keep trying to memorize that number. I don't know why I can't. I've got so many phone numbers in my head. And
Yeah, you're from that generation where you remember all the phone numbers.
Yeah, and then when they started being able to put it in the phone, I just started. My brain said,
I don't know.
"Oh,
I know my phone number. That's it.
Is it yours? Is the only one you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know my phone number?
No, I do not.
You call me?
No.
Oh, yes, you do. You call
No.
me. You text me.
No.
Well,
I just go to my blocked list. You're number one. And I'm like, all right, I can talk to her.
Okay. Anyway,
I love it.
what a stressful weekend I had. I did.
Cool.
Are you happy? You want to hear about it?
Not really.
Oh. Why not? I mean, it's so much fun. I went down to Carolyn's and we talked taxes, and I signed these papers, and I thought that I'd signed, all the forms I'm supposed to sign that she then puts in the IRS, and so I wouldn't. But they gave me two of these big envelopes that had papers in them, and so I went and just put them on my desk at home, and I hadn't been I've been so busy this week I didn't even go in and look at these, but I thought, I wonder what she put in here. If this is so I opened it up, and it looked like it. The little tabs that say "sign here" on those forms, and the IRS when you're doing your taxes, you're supposed to sign different places. So I went, was I supposed to sign these and send them back to her? Oh no! And so I kept calling her, and she wasn't answering. And I was just panicking, and I was going to try and call somebody that may know. Isn't there some building down near the airport where you can go to get something sent overnight, like at a post office?
Okay.
I mean, isn't there something like that? I've been there before.
Well, I mean, there's different companies that you can use. I know there's like Hot Shots, and then there's, you were talking about like in the greater Houston area.
Well, yeah, I mean, just anywhere, because if it was something I had to have, by the next day for the IRS to have, then I needed to. I couldn't be late, and so I was thinking, oh, Carolyn thinks I probably already sent this and all that, and I was just panicking, and because she had done both mine, and her daughter had done Samantha's, my daughter, so I had those two papers, and I kept calling, and then I just started calling her. I call her. She didn't pick up. Call her again in 10 minutes. And I kept calling her. So she finally picks up, and she says, "Hey, what's going on?" And I said, "Okay, you're going to be so mad at me because I just pulled out those papers that were in the envelopes that you let me take home, and I thought I had signed the papers." She said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, to send to the IRS. And she said, "Cindy, I've already sent your stuff in. Everything's in. You're fine. You don't owe anything. You're fine. You've already paid everything." And I went, "Oh my!" I just wanted to sit down and just cry because I was so worried that I was going to get in so much trouble, because she was talking about how the IRS is not, they're after everybody now, so you got to be careful. You have to be good and have everything in all that time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the worst things about dealing with anything mail with the government. They don't send you a confirmation. They don't send you anything to just at least inform you that they received it. I mean,
no, that's you're exactly right. Yeah. She was talking about that. She said, "No, they."
Well, yeah, because that was my joke about my ticket in Navasota. I was like, well, next thing, like the only thing I'll really know is if I get pulled over and I get arrested for a warrant.
Then you'll know.
I'll have no idea if this was taken care of, and then I'll know.
Yeah, because that's one thing's really scary, because we have all this instant everything, the communication now. But if you have to fax something to Austin, to office in Austin,
yeah,
and it's faxing at any time you can fax it, but it's falling on the floor or being brushed into the. Oh,
well, my favorite. You speak at the IRS. I got a letter from them for the studio, and it's like, "Oh, hey, you haven't filed in like 2 years," and I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure we did. Pretty sure I have a receipt." And this is the second time I've had to send them the receipts of like, "Look, you sent me confirmation filing via email." So I don't know why you keep sending me stuff like this.
So I should be keeping things like that. You should.
Oh yeah, well, especially when it comes to IRS, because when they send you stuff, it's usually like a month ago they sent it, or it was like the chain reaction started back then. And then I'm sitting there going like, man, am I going to get this every year? Because we file it on time every year. We do. It's simple to do.
Yeah.
But I think they just are incompetent when you do online stuff, and then they have like automatic mailing. And I had this conspiracy theory is they have this budget of physical mail they have to meet. They have to spend money on physical mail. That way they can justify spending, millions of dollars on physical mail. Uh-huh. It's like, hey, they already filed, but just send them. It's $1, so just send it. We gotta spend that $1 to get that paper out. And because I'm like, how are these guys not? Like, I want to say this is at least the second time they've done this to me, where they claim we haven't filed. I'm like, it's right here. Like,
well, that's Sam. We get so mad that they spent like $2 on the stamp. On the stamps they put on this envelope, and all they were looking for was, they sent me back $1.25 or something for overpaid or whatever. Yeah. It was just stupid. He says, "No wonder we're in trouble."
Yeah, you get a check for 50 cents or something like that. And like, oh, sweet. But no, I always wondered. I was like, that's the only reason they send out this stuff. It's like they're required to spend it, and.
I mean, the more that we're seeing and the transparency of what government does and where they spend the money, it's just like this big brouhaha right now that we sent like $157 million to.
I like it.
To Lebanon.
I like it. Yeah.
They hate us. They and there's rockets coming from Lebanon to Israel, and we gave them that, and now the people in North Carolina and all those people are hurting. They don't have food or water or anything like that, and everybody's looking for.
No one liked them anyway. Well, that's really what it comes down to. Now, if it was a cooler state, the
Appalachian Mountains, they're looking for the people in the mountains, and they go.
I think that was a conspiracy theory I read about that. Whereas, like, if you look at the past, like 50 years of recovery, like interstate, like in the states, and basically, like there's this conspiracy theory that they're trying to get rid of the dumbest people or something like that. Like, which is hilarious to me, because it's like, I guess if you look at the map, I could see it.
I told you, my friend sent me that recording of video of how the government has been figuring out a way that they can create the hurricanes to make them bigger and stronger.
Even better. That's even better. I've read that one too. They're like look how big the eye is of the whatever the one that's going over Florida. Like
Milton.
This thing's only 3 miles wide. That's like an uncalled, ever seen before with this size. And I'm going like, all right, let's keep it going, guys. What else we're gonna get from?
And those poor people just anyway, and they say
And they're sitting there writing their names on their chest.
yeah, but they don't have but our government doesn't have enough money to give them.
We don't know.
They
They
sent
always
them all
have money.
$750 each. They were sending them that. Everything's obliterated.
I think
There's
even people
nothing
here
there.
got FEMA money for that last storm we had here.
Yeah, we could. I mean,
That were like without power for like a week or something like that.
That's what I was going to tell you. The IRS sent me a letter, and it gets you in the gut when you have to open one of those up because you don't know what they're going to say to you. And they're saying we've extended your time to have to pay your taxes not until February because you had a storm come through. And I didn't want to write them back and say, well, I was in Orlando when that happened, so I don't. You still going to let me have an extension? And Carol said,
I always feel hesitant.
No, I don't think you should.
Filling anything out that the government wants me to fill out because I feel like I'll be on a list.
Yeah, that's right.
When it comes to like services or anything that you qualify for, it's like one of those things like, I don't really know about this.
So if it's real or if it's just
Well, not even real. I meant more of like it's just like you're going to be put on a list. So like whenever they interact with you again, it's like, oh, do you remember from 10 years ago you signed up for this?
Yeah.
And and like you didn't follow the right paperwork. I'm like, no, okay, sorry.
Well, it's scary, and they had this press conference, and the lady that stands up there, who's the person that does the press conferences, is being asked by a reporter, how is it that you had $157 million that you sent to Lebanon, and without Congress, you could do it because he wrote it.
Whatever. He
You
wrote
could
a
have
check.
it. And but you have to wait till Congress comes back to be able to send any money to the people in North Carolina or any of that. I don't get that. She got so mad. She was so upset. It's like, how dare you ask and
I mean,
question
there
us?
probably is a check and balance system with that, especially with the states.
Well,
To Lebanon, I don't know how. I mean, I feel like anything overseas, you can do whatever you want.
Well, I don't understand. I mean, they have spent a lot of money in Ukraine. I understand. I mean, a lot of these people.
They spend a lot of money
need help,
everywhere. You know that, right?
But
not just
there's
Ukraine.
like 3 or 4 different wars going on at one time.
Yeah, we got to make our money somehow.
And it's all because, it all traced back. If you go back and trace where the numbers come from, it's they sent all this money to Iran that had been frozen, and they went, we're going to unfreeze it and give you all the money.
Well, they probably didn't have legal standing on freezing it. I bet they were just like, we're just going to do this because we don't like you right now. And then they're like, oh, guess what? We were wrong. Sorry. That technically was your money. Here you go.
And we give you, and you're going to have to go 15 months before you do that nuclear thing, though, okay? That's going to be the agreement, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, we do that. So all of a sudden it's done, and they're about
Look
2
at you.
weeks away from having
what we should do is give everyone the equal amount of money that's fighting both sides,
yeah.
and be like, all right, let's see who wins.
And then we have some kind of we go to Vegas and do
Yeah,
so we can
we'll
bet
work.
who-
Yeah, we'll work the game. Can
Yeah.
you actually bet on the wars? That'd be nuts.
no, but it's just it's just making people so mad because this is not right.
But then again, we probably don't understand the process. There's clearly a process. of it.
Process poop, because look, they need the money now, and they're sending this overseas to people that don't even like us. They hate us.
Yeah, but they don't like us today. They could like us tomorrow after they check their bank account.
I mean, they're letting those people.
I
send
don't know.
rockets
Again,
over.
that could have been in the pipeline for like a year. It's like, hey, we're going to send this money to you in a year. It's just unfortunate that it.
And we're going to conjure up a hurricane to come in and hit the Carolinas, and we're going to knock out all
Well,
those
it's
people.
kind of like the dock working thing. Like that contract was going to come up
right.
regardless of what the current political discussion is. It's like they knew that was going to come up, so I don't think it was intended. Mm-hmm. It's like it's been on the books for I don't know 6 years or something like that. So it just happened to fall on an election year, and
By coincidence.
well, yeah, but I mean, like that could clearly be just a coincidence. You don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But see, they know that most of the people up in the mountains and stuff are extremely conservative, and they would probably vote for
Yeah,
Trump.
is that what you're thinking?
We're not gonna send money to them. We're not gonna help
See,
them.
again, that's why I like the conspiracy theories. It's like, all right, cool.
It is. It's fun because, and they do it to us. They don't tell us anything, so we have to create our own.
Well, they're eating our cats
theory.
and dogs.
What?
They're eating our cats and dogs, Cindy.
Well, I think they deserve to be able to do that since they're going hungry and they have nothing else to do.
That would be a story right there.
Have you seen the meme they did on the reels?
No.
And they wrote a song to it. It's pretty funny.
Gosh.
It's been really interesting, and it just goes back and forth because they keep saying like the race is so close.
Who knows?
And I'm
cares?
sure you did not see.
I don't care.
I just feel sure you did not see the return to the Butler Stadium that they had where he got shot.
Know.
You know where he was, where they actually shot his ear. Is that it was thousands upon thousands, and I don't think it was AI or anything else that made it look like that, or CGI or anything else that made it look like there were thousands and thousands of people there.
Really what I care about is if they did like an exit poll from that thing, and it's like, hey, you're ever going to come back to a Trump rally? I feel like
I couldn't believe,
because they probably sent that out as like it's like an automatic thing. Like every rally he has, they probably send like a survey. It's like, did you enjoy your time? What could we have done better?
Oh, probably so.
And then so you're getting home and you're like, you probably were sitting there detained for a while because they had to interview everybody.
Traumatized.
Traumatized. You're like, oh yeah, let me give that a 1 star. Let me give that a 1 star.
I'm not, but I didn't think anybody would show up. I thought it would be a very small
and I think,
group of people.
Well, not even that. Like I think it was one of the, I don't know if it was the debate where they were saying like, oh, no one likes going to your rallies. People are like bored with his rallies. I'm like, well, he was shot at one. Like I would be very hesitant to go to the next one.
Well, that's what I mean.
But with the way they said it though, it's
me.
like no one likes you. I'm like, yeah, someone tried to shoot him. But again, like what people spend their time with, whatever. But I always loved that when people were, that was like a talking point. Like, oh, people aren't going to his rallies anymore. I'm like, yeah, maybe because they don't want to die. Like that's a real. You probably wouldn't think that, but now you have to think it.
No, but people were still, even after that, because they put the rallies in gymnasiums and things like that.
They put them wherever they could fit them.
They weren't going to let them be outside anymore. But they got permission, or the Secret Service says, we're going to do better this time. You're not going to get shot. Uh-huh. They had snipers up along all those roofs and everything.
I don't know.
It was, well, you didn't watch it, so.
I don't really care. I don't really, the rally thing is weird to me. Like, it's weird to me that that's how you have to motivate people. It's like you go to a rally.
Well,
because it really,
you know yourself. If you see, somebody that you really like their songs, and you go to their concert,
oh, no, I get
and
it.
you see them in person.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird.
Well,
like, to me, it's weird.
Maybe to you, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't like. I was actually. I remember when it was here in Conroe. I was like, man, it's traffic.
It's an inconvenience.
I was like, this is so stupid. No, actually, I remember that night because I got pissed because the Astros, I want to say, were in the playoffs, and we were gonna have downtown was doing like a viewing, so they put up like a jumbotron inflatable screen, and then they put the rally on
instead of the
baseball game, and I was like,
and
I kind of like looked around and I go, I'm pretty sure it was advertised that we're gonna be watching the Astros game. That's like was the whole point.
It's a little corner then.
Well, no, what I meant, because the whole downtown by the Red Brick was closed off because like everyone could sit in the street and watch the game. And so I was like, it was really cool. So I wanted to do it again, and I remember going like, who do I complain to about this? Because it's like it was advertised we were going to watch the Astros game, and we're not, and we're clearly not going to because this rally is probably going to go on for 5 hours. And so I was, oh man,
I didn't know they would do that. Would have been fun.
I was getting a little upset about it.
I bet you were.
And that's when I did not like Donald Trump. I was like, screw this guy, ruin my Astros experience.
Well, I mean, I can understand that would be upsetting if it's what you wanted to come see. But you just know how bonded you are with somebody when you go to their and you see them in person. I don't care how far away they are, but they're there breathing the same air.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I really want to go see James Taylor at the Toyota Center in the nosebleeds. Really cool.
No, James Taylor, maybe not James Taylor. But that's where, when I saw the Beatles, it was in the City Auditorium, Houston City Auditorium. We were right up in the nosebleed thing. But it was so exciting because we were in the same room as the Beatles. That was just amazing.
Yeah, I was at you're on the same planet as them right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and just, because there's no new air. The air just circulates. So at some
So
point
you're
you
breathing,
may
yeah.
have breathing.
And his toots, and their toots.
And
Yeah. Pretty wild, full circle.
I hadn't thought of it that
But,
way, but thank you. I'll have to contemplate that. But it was, it really was exciting. And
Yeah.
so I understand why the concerts, and he does such a great job, and he's
No, I
funny.
get it. I'm just saying, from my perspective, I'm like, that just,
Well, I mean, from your
I just don't care. Well,
attitude.
yeah, I don't, like, what's he gonna, unless he has some good jokes, I guess. But that's the beauty of the internet. You can just watch them there.
No, but I liked, I mean, YouTube is so incredible because you can go in and watch for free, and you can see any of the things, anything, big events or anything like that. You can watch the whole thing on
There you go.
YouTube, just like our shows.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? So if you miss any of this exciting interaction between Richard and I, you can always go to YouTube and call up the Cindy Cochran Show, or I don't know why I say this, the Lone Star Community Radio. I always want to say the Lone Ranger. The Lone Star Community Radio, you can look that up on Facebook and search the Cindy Cochran Show. But it's so funny. I'll be watching a movie, and I'll go to the next movie, and it's audience of one.
It's the best show here on Lone Star.
You know what? But and right before my show, you're advertising all these shows. Do you ever advertise the Cindy Cochran Show before any of the shows?
No. Well, you won't make a spot. I try to get you to do a spot.
Yes, I did. When I first came up here, I did a
Yeah,
spot.
that was 5 years ago.
No. It was for this show,
uh,
and you never use it.
Yeah.
And we had those voices that were saying, "If these walls could talk."
Okay.
You remember those?
So you're recovered from the weekend. That's good.
Okay. So I had 2 birthdays, a day apart. No, right next to each other. Samuel turned 20, and Samantha had a birthday, and so everybody, it was just
Birthdays.
birthday is.
Yeah, I
all
always
around
wondered.
them.
I always wondered about families who have young children. That when there's that period for several years where like they don't have like just the one friend, they have like 10 friends.
Yeah.
And you have to go to all these birthday parties.
Yeah.
I feel like with my friends that now when I speak to them, it's like, oh, I got a bunch of birthdays this weekend. But I feel like out of the 52 weeks, I would say at least 6 of them are filled with birthdays.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, dude, that's crazy to me. And
So happy when they get so old, much older, that you can get one good present for them, and they're good with that. You don't have to, it's not how many things you got. It's just this. They really don't care about. They got so much stuff anyway, but there's just one thing that they really want, and then you can get that, and you're good to go. And he's into games so much. He has that. It's just something. I let him and his sister go to GameStop, and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you a budget."
yeah, but you're the grandma. But I meant more of like you're the mom. Like in today's world, and I bet it's different when you were like a young mother. Maybe so. I don't really know.
No, it was. We lived on a block where there were a bunch of kids. We lived in a
So you had all
cul-de-sac.
these
There's
parties,
kids.
and you're going
There's
to
always birthday parties.
gymnasiums, and you're going to.
Yeah, and I was the mom that would take them everywhere, and then when I started working doing TV, I would take them.
You have a nanny.
I would take them to be a part of something I was doing. Like if I'd come up with some kind of thing that are, like a skit or something, and I could use all the kids. And I was doing, I started doing exercises with the girl that came on and became a co-host to Good Morning Houston. And so I'd have to bring Chad. Chad. He was a baby. I just had Chad. And so she was going to do exercises to get back in shape from people having babies. And so she said, you can come on and, we can do this together. It'll be really fun. And I said, well, I've got Chad. And she said, that's fine. Let him crawl around.
Yeah, he can use them as weight.
Yeah, he can. It's
like you're going to pick up your baby, pick him up 10 times.
Yeah. And it was weird. It was so weird. And then they put me on a weight losing contest with Paul Schmidt. He was a celebrity in town. He owned a music store, and he was a co-host on the Good Morning Houston show. And so, but he was overweight. And so they said, okay, Cindy, we're going to have a weight losing contest with you and Paul. And I went, oh, okay. And we're going to weigh y'all tomorrow. So just be ready. You're going to be weighed. And then we're going to do videos showing how y'all are losing the weight and stuff. So I said, okay, fine. I found at the end of this thing, he wins. And I'm taking Dexatrim. I'm taking all these things to not eat and to lose all this weight.
Jesus, all right.
And
I was throwing up every morning.
and so I find out at the end of it, and it's a big, he thinks it's really funny, is that he was putting weights in his pocket, in his suit pocket.
Oh yeah.
And weighing, and then he'd take, whenever we'd come to weigh again, he'd take one out, and then he'd lost like 5 pounds, and I had lost like 1. It was terrible because I'd kill myself because I had to lose all that weight. But is that Armando?
I don't know. I just think it's a lot of people, and
oh, that looked like. I thought that looked like Armando sitting there.
I don't know.
We're looking at people that are standing outside the door, but we have so many fans, and it's hard to keep.
Yeah.
Keep them away.
Especially Dennis just said he's not going to listen because you're spreading Trump lies.
Who?
Dennis on Facebook, he commented.
What did he say?
He said, you're spreading lies again. You're a liar. I think it's great. I think it's worth it.
It's okay. It's not lies, and that's what's.
Yeah, it is.
It is not lies.
Yeah,
it's not lies, y'all. It's
getting a little much.
I've been looking at all this stuff all this time.
Getting a little much.
You're not doing any of it. You're not into it or anything, and so you think I'm mishearing what's being said, right?
I don't think anyone knows what they're saying when it comes to the news outlets.
Well, I know some of us. They may be reaching and they may be repeating.
Well, it kind of reminds me of that transition the internet's going through with journalism, where, like, when the AP releases an article, like straight information, it's like maybe a paragraph long. It's not it's not appealing. It's just like 4 sentences.
Right.
And they're like, well, we got to doll this up. Like, we can't just report this and it'd be a 45-second clip. Like, we got to make it 3 minutes. So they start dolling it up.
Well, maybe, but...
And then they shape the story from the doll up.
But here's the problem is that nowadays, we have a receipt for so many things through the videos people stand around taking. And so they can't deny stuff that they did or they said or whatever. Because it's coming right out of their mouth into the... Now the AI comes along and goes like... We can make them say anything we want them to say. Have you seen? Have you seen the? No, you don't look at reels, do you?
Not really.
Do you ever sit and look at reels?
No.
They've got.
If I find myself with time like that, I'm in trouble.
Well, they've got Trump and Elon Musk dancing, and they look really, really young, and they're.
Okay.
And it's perfect. I mean, it's done so well that you really
that's
think
AI.
I know. It's scary. except if you could just get them to do it where,
That's why every time you read a story, you got to wait like 7 weeks to have any credibility to that story. Because usually it takes about 7 days for somebody to come up with more information or whatever.
The real story.
Not the real story, but it's kind of like the AP article thing I was telling you about. They release a statement because this is what they know. Mm-hmm. And it's like 3 sentences long. And then in a week, we'll probably know 10 times more. But they have to release something.
Yeah.
Because they're the AP.
Right. And see, everybody believed the AP was like the Bible. That was like whatever they say is true. And now we find out that's really not true.
Well, they're not making any money. Well, so they got to make money somehow.
But the endorsement of Elon Musk is so incredible.
Well, no, so it's wild to me, and I would love to talk to like a political historian about that kind of thing, is you at one point as a business person become so big.
Yeah.
And it's like you're bored. And you're like, I want to get a job at the White House. And I wonder how many people publicly, like, because that was a public thing he did. Now, I imagine behind closed doors, that's happening all the time, where it's like, hey, I'll do this favor for you, but if you give me a seat somewhere.
Right.
But, like, that kind of, like, proposition, like, to me is hilarious. Cause
it's so, but it was so, you're right, it's so transparent. It was so real because he said, what I can do is I can go in.
It's like, what are you going to do if he doesn't win the presidency? It's like,
well, then
I'll just go back to doing spaceships.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay.
Starlink. Starlink is getting big.
Well, it's already big. It's all over the world. Really, what are you talking about?
It's really getting. I mean, there's getting to be a lot of publicity.
Well, thankfully the people in the Appalachia area have internet because they have Starlink, so they can be starving while watching, Jack Reacher. So that's always a positive thought.
Yeah, see?
But no, I always wondered back in the day, like how many public people, because that's happened a lot, I imagine, but not that publicly, I feel like.
But listen to what he said he's going to do. What he said, he's going to go through all the agencies and all the things in the White House and start getting rid of things that are not producing or helping the situation or helping people and all that.
Yeah, and I'm sure all the ones that are helping are his company.
No, but he's
like the only way I could really,
I think that's great. It reminds me of Dave.
If I was president and Elon Musk came to me with this idea of his, I'd be like, sell all your businesses, then I'll let you do it. Like, I don't want you anywhere involved for like the 4 years I'm in office.
So there's no conflict of interest.
Like, I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, but
then he'll probably have a baby out of wedlock again, and I'll be like, I fire you, man. We have these standards here. Like, I can't believe it. I always love this.
He's never had a baby out of wedlock.
I think he has like 10 children.
No, he didn't.
Out of wedlock. I'm pretty sure he does.
Look that up. How many children does...
Oh, I know it's a lot. Hey, look, that's the number one search. How many children does Elon Musk? He has 12 children with 3 women. That's not that bad.
12? So he had 4 children each, huh?
Oh, way to go, dude. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. Elon.
Well, what's interesting to me about that is that this is going to sound weird. So these women had multiple children with the guy. So they liked him after the first kid. And then after, like, at one point they didn't like him anymore, or he didn't like
Or he got tired of it.
I don't know. That's so messed up. I think that's great, though. Can you imagine the kids' birthday parties?
Well, it's like Trump was married 3 times. 3. 1, 2,
yeah,
3.
But to have
12
kids, that's pretty...
Yeah, that's weird. Now, is he from England? What?
He's from South Africa.
South Africa. That's where his accent comes from. I thought it sounded English.
Yeah.
So, well, there you go. That's
there you go.
That's
I think
okay.
it's great.
But I'm not going to judge him on that as much as
I'm definitely going to judge him on that.
No,
I'm definitely if I ever met him, I'd be like, so what's the deal with that? Is that just something like you just like doing? You're like whatever, or is that something? Is it planned? Are all 12 of those planned? What's the deal?
Probably not.
You think
12?
so?
12 of them?
Yeah, that's a lot of. What's the overlap on some of them? There's got to be an overlap.
Well,
When was the first child born?
well, it's just that were these they never practice anything about let's just have 2, and then you get your tubes tied, and then you get,
Well, I like this New York Post. It has at least 12 children.
at least 12
But
children that he knows about.
I want people to talk about me that way, where they use that word at least. It's like,
Really?
well, he at least has this much money, or he has at least these many cars, or at least this many kids. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, keep them wondering. That's what you got to do.
I don't know.
But see, what I love about situations like that too is you got this guy who's spearheaded Twitter for the past 4 years or something like that. He's like, this is I'm trying to do something great for society by doing a social media deal, and then he endorses a president or a person running for office. I'm like, how is that not conflict of interest, man? How is that not, election interference?
No, but he did it because they restricted anyone that the narrative that they were trying to put out.
No, I get it.
To kill
of
them.
course they're going to have a narrative. They got to be on the attack all the time. That's what today's world
Well, that's
all
what
about.
he said. He explained
No, I get it.
that
But I'm just saying
why he liked him.
from an outside perspective, you're like, come on, man.
Well, he's just enamored with the courage he believes that that Trump has.
Sure.
And that for him to get up after being shot at, and him pumping the fist, he said that did it for me. He said that guy's got guts, not guts, but he said that guy's courageous.
There you go.
So that's what.
But when you have that many tools that work in America, and it's like I would tell him to sell all the businesses before he joins. Like you can't work, you can't attend, you can't. Like I would make a strict rule.
Well,
Like
he's
you can't
not-
you can't even go to the building. You can't even no communication with those people.
Why?
Because I don't want people seeing it being biased.
How? What he's being he's just looking at the numbers. He's
No, I
just
get
looking
it.
at numbers about what this agency's doing, and they're ridiculous. You don't need this.
Well,
This
that
money goes
happens,
back
yeah.
into the pot.
But
So
somehow you always benefit at the end of the day when you get that little seat.
he's
at the
got
White
plenty of
House.
money, though. That's what I mean. Don't you think? That's how Trump looks at him. Like you've got enough money for you to be happy
No.
with. You're not going to come here and
No one's ever satisfied.
hide cocaine.
I mean, think about
in
Donald Trump. He wasn't satisfied. He's like, I'm bored. I want to run for president.
But he's not accepting his own salary, so
Yeah, because he's bored.
he enjoys being in the spotlight of doing good stuff. Now he could be in the spotlight for doing mean. He could be terrible.
Like
and
you could be on a bus talking to a guy talking about grabbing women, like that kind of stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
can you not get through that? I mean,
I
just
think
get
it's
past that.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Well,
I-
because I love the what do they call it, quote, locker room talk. I love that kind of stuff because I always enjoy that kind of humor. So, but when someone tries to pretend that I didn't say that or that that's not me, I'm like, yeah, that was you, dude.
Well, as soon
was
as that happened and people started saying that's just locker room talk. That's how people talk. That's how guys talk
Yeah.
to each other. And if somebody was recording that, then oh well, because if you heard everything that your husband or your boyfriend
yeah.
said in the locker room, you'd be like,
Oh no, I've been there personally, and I kind of go deal with it. That's why I own it. I'm like, yeah, deal with it.
well, when the first time they let the women in, and I was with Channel 13, and I was going and covering the Rockets
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
games, and so I got to go in the locker room, and it was true. Guys did not like women in the locker room, and they did everything they could
Well,
do.
I honestly wouldn't want a woman in the locker room when I'm changing.
No, I didn't blame them. I really did not blame them. But I had people with me that were shooting and doing this stuff. They're so excited about getting in the locker room and all that they wanted to be in there. I didn't want to be in there and have those guys dropping their towels and going, oops, and laughing and all that stuff and making fun making fun of it was
Yeah.
it was disgusting. But
I think I would just change at home.
yeah, really, that's what they need to be doing instead of doing that. No,
Well, yeah, I don't want to let you put me at an inconvenience, even though I was the one playing the game. Even though you come into my bathroom, I'll let you come to my bathroom. I just won't be there.
it's just, and I thought that was so stupid. Why they would put a woman in there to do that? But
Well, I think they changed it for like football. I know they do like the interviews afterwards. So most of the interviews you see in football games, like the quarterback will go get changed, and like they do a little 15-minute deal, and then he comes on, like outside on the field.
they may do that now. I think it was just when they said, now women are going to be allowed in the locker room. So y'all just be ready for that. And you got to be ready for, they can do whatever they want to do. And you can't complain because this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted to be in the locker room. So here's the locker room. And this is what they do there. And
Can you imagine that guy who's next to like LeBron James or whoever, and like you just want to get like, you got your car keys like right behind him, and you're like, dude, how long is this interview going to take? I got to get my keys. Like, can we? And there's always like reporters, like surrounding. And you're like, how do I get my keys from behind them? I should never have left the keys there. I bet you that's happened.
Oh, sure. Oh, of course. I'm sure that's what happens. But it was difficult trying to keep eye contact because they're so tall. Everybody's so tall. This was during basketball, so everybody was really tall, and trying to look at them and go,
There you go.
okay, so can you tell me what?
Yeah, whatever.
Who cares? They don't. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't care about that.
sports. It's sports.
Sports, but it was a good experience. It was fun. I mean, I like that they were trying to make
Because you
me
won't get
mad.
in trouble morally from it because it's your job. You got to
That's
be
right.
you got to be in the bathroom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or Cindy, if you don't go in the bathroom with those guys and get the video, don't take anything from the waist down. Just get the shots of the.
See, that's what creeps me out about that kind of scenario is there's footage of that.
Oh yeah.
So somewhere some poor kid who has to run all the B tape has to edit everything. He's like, well, you know how many naked guys I saw today? Not enough apparently because it keeps coming.
It was funny.
Well, I mean, they definitely changed that over the years, though. Like, I really don't recall a lot. Like, the only locker room stuff I remember seeing today might be baseball.
Yeah, because I think everybody goes in there for the throwing the stuff around and all that, and then they all may leave. They probably get all the reporters.
Because I think
out,
like basketball now, they do a lot of they have like a media room, and they just kind of cycle the players through after the game. It's like after the game interview. But I've seen a couple baseball ones where like they're like sitting at their locker and they're just kind of like, yeah, it was a good game.
But the most dangerous thing that they would do is to put all the reporters from all the different papers and places and all that right there under the net, right next to the net. So when they're running, and that's when Elijah Wan, he was one, right? Elijah Wan, he was a big guy. He came.
Yeah, you got a 280-pound dude falling on you.
Yeah, and then when he came right at us, and I just turned to the photographer and said, "You're getting this right because you knew he was gonna." There was no place for us to go. We couldn't move or anything. You're just gonna have to hunker down after he falls.
And you smelled him.
It was, and they thought that was the funnest thing. They thought that was so great that Elijah Wan fell on us and was just.
There you go.
Their sweat was on the floor. And
you haven't washed your hands since, have you? That's weird.
I know. No, yes, I did. Wash my hands, wash my face. It was just everywhere.
Yeah.
They sweat so much.
Well, yeah, they're playing a sport.
I know, but it's just, I don't know how they get through that without totally dehydrating
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now you want to go in their locker room and they can't even shower. They're like, I got this interview. And I'm like, been playing for an hour and a half. I'm tired. Mm-hmm. Now I got to answer these questions.
Yeah.
While I'm sweating.
I think it's hard. I mean, I think it's really stupid. I did not, that wasn't, it was just that it was so much fun to watch these guys that were so excited about going in there and seeing them and being in that position. They thought they'd never
really
be able to
weird
get.
to me.
Huh?
Like, I wouldn't be excited about that.
Well, not you. You wouldn't be, but they were, because they were real big fans of.
Like, if someone came up to me and was like, hey, we got Jesus here. You know, we got Albert Einstein here. You can talk to him. Like, oh, cool.
I want that interview.
Got George Campbell. Oh, yeah, I'm going to George Campbell that guy. Let's go talk to him. And it's like, but he's in the bathroom. So you got to talk to him while he's in the bathroom.
That's okay.
I'd be like, no, thank you. That's
That'd be-
too bad.
If you want that interview, you want the exclusive.
Yeah.
And you just hope your photographer is shooting him correctly.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. It just. But if
weird.
you've been a mom and you've been through everything, nothing bothers you. You're not going to be embarrassed by it. I just felt bad for them. They weren't really embarrassed. They were trying to embarrass you, and that's what made it even.
Well, I mean, that's the only way they could deal with it. That's how I would probably deal with it.
Well, they were
if
trying to.
If I didn't have any say about you coming into my privacy, then I would act a fool about it. I'm like, look how ridiculous this is. It's like, why do you have a thong on? Because I knew you'd be here.
You want me to take it off? Okay.
Yeah. It's like, what you want?
See, that's. Well, guys. Well, of course, guys aren't at all. They're not shy about anything, and most guys.
Well, I mean,
anyway.
Again, you're in their bathroom. You're in their locker room.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they don't want you in there, so they're going to do everything they can to disgust you and make you feel like, I'm not ever doing that again. Don't ever send me back in there again. So I don't know how they do it today. I don't know if they have rooms.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Idea.
I think each sport is adapted one way or another.
Yeah.
So.
But it was interesting. It was very interesting. So anyway, what else is happening this weekend?
Yeah, you got a show tomorrow.
I got a show tomorrow with Lynn Campbell. Is his name? No, not Campbell. Chappelle. Lynn Chappelle.
Oh, that's his name, yeah, I guess.
What?
Nothing.
Lynn Chappelle. And,
no, that's not him at all. But we'll put a post
that's his
about it.
name.
All right, cool.
It's CHAPPLLE. 2 E's and 2 P's. That's what.
Well, you never sent me anything, so I didn't know.
Well, because I lost the card.
Yeah, there you go.
So
we will be here.
For...
You will be here tomorrow, and then we're going.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Cindy Cochran Show.
Wait.
We'll be back tomorrow morning or tomorrow at 2:00.
Every week, people ask the same 2 questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these 2 questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, 1-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran Show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
From the beginning, the main purpose of the Cooperative Extension Service has been to change human behavior by teaching people how to apply the results of scientific research.